If you haven't been living under the rock, the Chicago Bears need a head coach, and we have already begun to try to fill in those interview spots. Let's talk about that, man. If you're new to the channel, it's your boy Pkidd, Patty Casting over known to some. This is the Windy City Breeze. Do me a favor, because YouTube be playing us sometimes. I need that like, share, and that subscribe. Hit that bell button. Leave a review. Y'all know how we move. Stay in tune so we can continue to give you these hot topics, man. Let's talk about these interviews that were requested. The Chicago Bears are wasting no time. One of the top names that we all know and we've all agreed probably should get this interview. Now, whether he chooses to come here or not is a whole different story. You know, self-preservation is a mug. But Ben Johnson is one of those names and one of those individuals. And because they got the bye week, he is now available and can be interviewed. So the Bears are not wasting any time. And I love to see that. Now, there are a plethora of names. Some names people are going to say, heck no, but some names obviously may actually have some merit to it. Now, I am big on you have your generational QB. In my opinion, you have your franchise QB. Whether he's generational or not, that's for debate for some people. I think the kid has the talent and the potential. I think the ceiling is high. Blase, blase, blah. We're talking about head coaches right now. So we're thinking of a Ben Johnson. Love it. You see what that offense did to the Minnesota yesterday? Steamrolled them boys. It's not even funny. And that was a game that maybe, I mean, listen, the bye is important. Don't get me wrong, but it was proving a point more than anything. So yeah, listen, Ben Johnson outdueled Brian Flores. Enough said, right? But on the flip side, Aaron Glenn has also been requested to have an interview. He also is the defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. And while I am against going defense again, because we never seem to fail to build a defense, but we failed to build an offense terribly in my tenure as a Bears fan, I will say that man had that team cooking. That man and that defense made Minnesota look like Sam Darnold got the Caleb treatment last night. And so when you look at the masterclass that he put on defensively and how he was actually out there coaching that team from that aspect and what they've been able to do with so many injuries on that side of the ball, they got it right. So I'm not mad at Aaron Glenn being interviewed as well because, again, Ben Johnson is a hot name for a lot of individuals who are trying to get the offense right. You can't be mad at Aaron Glenn. So that's another name that the Bears are looking into. He's 52 years old. Obviously, I've given you the rundown on the team and everything like that. Now let's go into some names that maybe or maybe not. The heck are we doing here, right? Anthony Weaver. Now, by the way, Dolphins defensive coordinator. Obviously, they're not going anywhere. Interview was requested for him. He has been described as a leader of men type. I am so tired of that phrase. To be a coach, you have to be a leader. If you don't have leadership qualities, you shouldn't be a coach of any nature. Jesus, can we stop being so redundant? At this point, he's been described as high energy, emotionally intelligent. He holds players accountable and is highly respected. Now, I will say this. Miami was at one point known to have a dominant defense. I didn't keep track as to what happened over there because, well, I didn't care. But I will say that we have always held Miami's defense in high esteem. And so if he was responsible for that, I could see him getting a nod. And this is one of the things where, again, you have to have backfield because the top names are top names for a reason. Ben Johnson is going to be highly sought after. There's going to be more openings at head coach. You have to have some type of backfield in case that doesn't work out. Now, Pete Carroll and all those names really come to mind before these guys, but it's good to see that we're not just sitting out there and only limiting ourselves in our evaluation process. I like the fact that we're going around and actually going out there. Now, Drew Petzing is a name I didn't expect to come up. Drew Petzing is a Cardinals offensive coordinator, and he's up for head coach interview. At least that's what this says, according to this report. Now, Drew Petzing is 37, is described as a rising, impressive coach, and the Bears faced him in his offense early. We did play them, where Arizona did moonwalk us, and we did. They did beat us 29-9. And so, while I admit that, we kind of just laid down on that particular one. I didn't expect to see this name. And I will say, me say this as nicely as possible. Anytime that you have an issue or problem scheming for Marvin Harrison, who has been touted as one of the, if not the best wide receiver of that draft class, you got a problem. I don't need or want guys who can't seem to understand. Let's just find a way to get him the ball. Now, I do understand, and I do understand Marvin had his own issues this season as well. You also have to think about the Kyler Gordon, you know what I'm trying to say. Kyler situation over there. Do they really have the QB? I mean, he's talented, but like mentally, where is he at? And I don't want to besmirch anybody, but I mean, those are just the reports. It kind of is what it is. But just a guy. Now, could he be a good guy? Sure. But I don't know if I want him for my head coaching position, and we shouldn't be interviewing offensive coordinators for a vacant offensive coordinator until we have a head coach to hire the offensive coordinator. But that's just the Bears' way, isn't it? Moving on, because there's more people that apparently were requested to interview or to be interviewed. And the last one that I'm going to actually talk about, and I think he deserves this one, is Thomas Brown. There is a reason why I think Thomas Brown, despite everything else, despite what most people say, and I've said it, I said that he kind of like he's not going to get this job. But I will say this: if everything else falls through, if Vrabel goes to New England, if the Giants head coaching position becomes available, and for some odd reason we don't grab Daboll and Ben Johnson goes that way, or Ben Johnson just doesn't come to Chicago, period. Like, honestly, if Ben Johnson, Pete Carroll, Vrabel, if all those, I'm going to throw in Mike McCarthy if he gets fired. I don't know if he is, but if he does, if you don't get those four guys, because there's a lot of teams that need help, I'm kind of looking at this situation as Thomas Brown might have a case. There's two reasons why, and I'm gonna keep this short because I know this is somewhat of an update. Probably won't do a whole lot of traction, but it's the news. We got to report the news as it is. Thomas Brown did a whole lot as far as holding people accountable toward the end of the season. Now, I want people to understand that he went from promoted as OC and shifted into HC head coach in the middle of the season, and most coaches need time. Their own installation, things of that nature. You're now running a whole organization, and he got thrown into that fire. Now, I think he was the only person on the team outside of maybe one other person. I could be wrong. Again, correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. I'm just not thinking of it at the top of my head that had assistant head coaching duties before. So it's not completely foreign to him. But again, he's put in a situation where he had to change a lot of things on the fly, and we had games to play. So you're going to have a lot of lows in that one. But toward the end of this, and especially in this last game, you saw people be held accountable. You saw people actually coach hard and things of that nature. And I know you gotta put out good tape and things of that nature. But even Caleb talked about how Thomas Brown has been coaching him and things of that nature when he gave him the game ball. So there's a lot here. And again, we don't know who is going to make the decision to take the Bears head coaching job. I want people to understand this is not like players. We're not doing this in the aspect of, hey, you can make a trade and that doesn't matter. Like, these head coaches, like, they have the option to say no. And there's a lot of reasons to say no to Chicago. And if a lot of these teams say no to, head coaches say no to Chicago, I don't see Thomas Brown being too far off from being the guy to help steer it right if he had enough time to run his own installation, help on the decision of getting the right people in place and things of that nature. I mean, was it the results that we wanted? No. But was the foundation and holding people accountable kind of laid? Yeah. I mean, it's not, I don't think it's a coincidence that the moment he gets moved over, Nate Davis is not here. The direct coaching is a little different. It was different. It just took time. And unfortunately, he was thrown in a situation where the Chicago fans didn't want to give it time. And I want people to understand, it's still going to take time. No matter who we get here, the first year may not be what you think it is. Because you can't just bring in a coach. You also have to bring in the talent. And if you don't bring in the talent, it doesn't matter who's coaching it. The talent is only going to be as good. The team's only going to be as good as the talent is. The coach accentuates that and makes them good, go from good to great. That it just is what it is. But I want to hear your thoughts, man. Those are the names of the people rumored to be interviewed or who have officially been requested to interview for us. There's some names on there that you may like, and some names on there like, what the heck is this guy? Oh, by the way, I forgot one guy. You want to know why? I did it on purpose. Matt Kafka. I hope I pronounced his name right. I'm sure he's a good guy. I don't want him to interview for us. I'm good. I'm good. That offense didn't have a chance. I'm good. No. I'm sorry. I'm not going to. Why would I interview or even have him as my head coach when he didn't even seem to do a good job there? No, I'm not going to do that. Some of these guys didn't do a good job there. The only people I've said, let me not rant. I don't want to rant. I want to hear your thoughts. But the stuff would say, put it in the chat. I'll be in there with you. Till next time. Peace.